Hey everyone, so I have Raul with me. He is the owner of Traction Lab, and we're going to dive into a deep case study that Raul has shared with us, exact numbers on how he helped a business get from zero to hero, and tell you exactly how he did it so you can do the same. Raul,
Thanks, Bryce.
welcome.
Thank
We
you.
were just talking about some results. I'm going to go ahead and share that screen again, and let's discuss. Okay, so what am I looking at here?
So what we're looking at is we're talking about revenue. We're talking about the contacts created, and we were talking about specifically the CloseBot not really having much to do with contacts created. So I think,
Yeah, I said that. I said it like because this is your ads. Like you were able to implement ads for this business, and that drives contacts, right? That and
right.
I thought that didn't have anything to do with the AI. You told me you're
No,
wrong.
so this is what's crazy. They actually had ads already going. Okay, so they've historically for 6 years they've had ads going, and this is something that they've done. The founder did on himself. So when I
Yeah.
came in, I had a lot of credibility with him because he got to experience me um, doing all lead generation in my previous business. I had 18 locations in the health and wellness. So he got to experience everything that I lived. So when I came in and he asked me for help, I had a lot of credibility with him. So the first thing I did was, do you have a contact center? No, right? Do you have who's picking up the phone? Well, me, I'm responding, the reception. So there's no focus, right? So before we even talk about AI, walk me down through, how do you answer the phone or answer the leads, all that. And then as I mapped that out, we determined that there was no focus. So the context created was actually someone focused 100% on responding to his leads. So there
Yeah,
was
someone was the AI.
someone was Vicky, the AI. But we named, as you know, we named the CloseBot bot.
Oh yeah. We can refer to the CloseBot agent you made as Vicky.
Okay.
Now on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Vicky didn't exist. So that was one of the, the critical few things that I felt. The first thing is we don't even know what's happening. You're investing and we don't ever really know. You can't even tell me what's your conversion. You can't really tell me how many leads you're getting. I mean, obviously, the Meta dashboard has that information, but it wasn't very clear. So let's just install it and see what happens. And
Okay.
they invest a little bit more, not much more, but you can see the context created without Vicky and with Vicky.
So, okay, that makes more sense now. They probably didn't feel comfortable. And it was probably coming and going as in waves as they had time to respond to the texts, respond to the messages, respond to the phone.
Right.
They weren't tracking any of this. And when
They
you're not
weren't.
tracking and it's so up and down, you can't put any additional ad spend behind it. So even without changing the ads, installing Vicky gave them clarity and comfort to
Right.
allow them to scale
So
and
yes, and
scale
it was
drastically. I mean, that's a
it was fantastic.
153%.
Yeah, he couldn't believe it, right? So it was just like, hey, we're not making this stuff up, right? Let's go through the through go high level. Let's go through CRM and let's extract the spreadsheet. And it was there. So it was a big deal for him. It was like, whoa. So that really led him to take my second suggestion, which is let's hire someone. And the business it's a gym, but it's targeting Spanish speaking clients. It's a border town. We can call it border town. And that's his niche, right? The way he markets to them is in Spanish.
Oh, so this is all Spanish?
This is all Spanish. Vinky is bilingual.
And what did you have to do to make that happen?
Nothing. I just said, MB, I just told CloseBot in the business how to respond. Vicky, you speak Mexico Spanish, and that's all. I didn't do really anything much. It was that simple.
Awesome. That's all right. Okay,
Yeah,
so this is
so-
this
and
is huge.
This is really important because a lot of people don't know that there's different dialects. It's like the way we speak in Florida, New York, Texas is different than how we speak in California, right? I'm in California. My references to dude means like 12 different things, right? So in every part of Spanish speaking countries, it's the same thing. So by saying Mexico Spanish, it's a big deal. And I've even been able to get Vicky to speak northern Mexican Spanish. So that's a whole different program. But anyway, yeah.
Oh, that's wild. Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, this is something I know nothing about. So I'm sure many people listening to this will know exactly what you're talking about. And they're going to be like, oh, yes. Okay. They're going to be getting ideas. So this is great. I want to jump over before we go into the other results of that. Let's talk about the journey. Okay. You were trying to get them to adopt Vicky. What was that like? So they weren't using AI. They didn't even have processes really before. It took them 4 days to respond is what you were telling me. Now, how did you move them over? Was that easy? Was that difficult?
So 4 days, the reason why it was so dramatic, 4 days, is they weren't responding to all the messages. So Meta, they ding you, right? If you're not responding to everything, they're going to ding you and they're going to take an average of response. So that was when I went back to them and I pulled the data. My feedback was, this is not good. 4 days. I mean, and the fact that you're operating and you're selling, that's great, but we need to get this down to seconds. And they said, there's no way that, what do you mean seconds? Let me do this and then let Meta tell you. I'm not going to try to convince you. Meta is going to tell you. So when Meta told them that this responds in 33 seconds, I believe was the number, they were blown away. So what happens, what I experienced, Bryce, and I don't know if everybody else experiences, but I feel that there's a journey for everyone implementing a business owner implementing AI. The first thing is they're almost trying to prove that it doesn't work. And I'm not sure if that's just my, clients, but they almost want to prove that AI doesn't work. It's too early to implement. So that's what happened. They would jump into the conversations for the first 2 weeks until I told them, this is not going to work if you jump into the conversations. If you're seeing Vicky communicating and she's not doing what she's supposed to be doing, that tells me you're not onboarding your employees. In other words, you don't have an onboarding process, because any company or a serious company that's onboarding a new employee, you have to listen to the phone calls, how they're responding. Let Vicky do that. I am tracking her and I'm making sure she's onboarding customers correctly, but you got to let her fail and correct. And that was something that they understood because they've had employees that didn't do conversion. They didn't do what they're supposed to do. So once I told them that, they laid off. And then within a month, Vicky was hitting home runs.
I gave you some time to hear their feedback, dial in, and they probably didn't really know what their process was either. They didn't have it well defined. With CloseBot, with Vicky, you need the objectives. So I imagine it sounds like it took you some time to dial in what those were, what were important movers for the business.
Yes. So if I didn't have my background, if I hadn't gone through my own journey as a business owner, scaling a business in 5 years from 0 to 7 million in annual revenue, I wouldn't have known this. So that was the other the big piece here, right? I had experience. So I had the foundation and AI kind of plugged in perfectly. I don't know if someone who doesn't have the experience, doesn't have processes, and they try to plug in the AI, it's going to be more difficult, right? But I've gone through the journey so I can understand where the gaps are. Right? And that was originally, I don't know if you remember our discussion when we first started working together. That was one of the things that I started AI focus on CloseBot after I canceled Zappy. And that's a whole different program. But I went to you because I felt that I had done in my previous company so many things incorrectly. Yeah, 0 to 7 million in revenue, but there was a lot of gaps I had. A lot of gaps I had, and CloseBot has been able to fill those gaps. So one of the things that I had mentioned to you initially prior to this call was I'm going to focus strictly on leveraging CloseBot within my own project and one specifically in the industrial world because it's so powerful and it's not being used right now in that industry from what I see. And it's going to really disrupt what I'm doing with this new project.
Fun.
Yeah.
Sky's the limit.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's go down here on this one because this is really interesting too.
Yes.
This is like everything you were saying before.
Right. Yes. So total context created. Then we really dialed in just to make sure everybody understands the difference between context created and WhatsApp numbers registered. Let's face it. I don't care how good you are and how much you invest your ad spend. You're going to get lucky lose, I believe is the word. You're going to get people who aren't really interested or just clicking, or sometimes we all know that as much as Meta says it's not possible, somehow the algorithm clicks without the customer clicking, right? I'm actually sued Meta a couple of years ago because of that. But anyways, that's a different story. So what this is people that are inbound leads, and Vicky is picking them up and responding immediately. And then once she responds, she engages them. And then for lead conversion, and what I mean by lead conversion is
what's a converted lead?
Yeah, so converting in marketing was because there's conversion in sales or conversion in marketing. Specifically, when I mean conversion, is the metric that the KPI that's being met here is we need their WhatsApp number, their contact information, because this is done through Messenger. So most people, from what I hear, don't even use Messenger as ad spend. These guys focus a lot on Messenger, and with Messenger, you're not getting their phone number. So that's a big deal, right?
Right.
And the reason they're using Messenger is because they got burned with ad lead form. So they're using Messenger, and now Vicky is receiving the first message once they click, I have a question or send the message. And then the conversion here on the July and August, it's leads coming in, messages coming in, and Vicky being able to grab that information, their phone number, their WhatsApp phone.
And what other information does Vicky grab? I think it was like location, because there were two different locations they could go to.
That's correct. So location, correct. So it's message comes in, and Vicky says something like, "Are you interested in the location A or location B?" Well, I'm located here. Perfect. Go ahead. This location is closest to you. And it's crazy that Vicky knows that. Don't ask me how Vicky knows it. I still haven't figured that out, but she knows it, right?
Sweet.
And yeah. So then, okay, perfect. Give me your phone number. I'm a new person in the company. I don't have all the information, but I'm being told to grab your phone number so a salesperson can contact you. And that's
Simple.
so simple. To get there, Bryce, it took a lot of headaches, a lot of problems. 55 times we changed the objective. Oh, it was nuts.
Gosh.
Yes. I hated my system. I love him now. He don't know, but he knows. He's a real good guy, real smart guy. And he loves, I'm sure many agencies can relate. He just loves to make ads, right? He loves to make ads and make content. So that's, one of the things that's challenging. But now today, because of Vicky doing so well with choosing the right location, this is something that just happened like a couple of weeks ago. Now Vicky just asked for the zip code. And let me explain why we're asking for a zip code. Because he's trying to open a third location. And he didn't have a standard procedure or a marketing research or anything to tell him where to open. And my feedback was, listen, you're killing it. You're doing a great job. You're going to continue to grow.
You're smart. So you're tracking zip codes so you know where to open the other location. And you can still accomplish the objective of driving them to one of the two open locations.
That's correct. So
cool.
That's what Vicky is doing, right? So Vicky is doing that right now. And I'm telling, because he still uses Scipio or some SMS platform that he loves. He spends a lot of money on it. I explained to him what we can do with GHL, but Scipio doesn't have all the problems with A2P. I mean, that's a whole different program, right? So the A2P is a big concern. So he uses that, but he doesn't have the zip codes. They don't have zip codes. So that's something that Vicky's doing now. Give me the zip code. So when they're going to, after a couple months, they're going to open the third location. They don't have to guess where to open. They're just going to feed that customer base to that location, because the second location, they don't have any more space. I mean, they're on a wait list. It's been like that for a couple months.
Didn't you say they tried and failed before to open a third location?
Yeah, so he mentioned that he tried to open a couple locations, I think 4 or 5, and he failed. He said that was, he tells a story in his Instagram. He tells the story about him failing, and then he's spiraled out of control. He gained like 50 pounds. He's a personal trainer, right? He went through this.
Not good for business.
Yeah, he went through this series, low, and then he started all over. And now he realized, I got to do it better, right? I got to do it better. And he's doing a really good job.
With your help, with Vicky's help. And we see here, so July was pre-Vicky, August was post-Vicky.
Right.
The number of total contacts created dropped because you guys were working through the stuff. You gave pushback.
July was actually somewhat Vicky. Not
okay.
That was like half.
So that was when the work was in progress, and then it was fully okay by August.
That was 1 week of him answering all the messages, other people answering messages, and then we went all in like mid-month, a little bit after mid-month.
Got it. Okay. That's good. So that tells the full story there. Let's go back to here. This one's easier to wrap our head around now. Qualified leads.
Right.
Almost a 3x in qualified leads.
That's huge.
And then we were mentioning here their revenue forecast.
Right.
So not only have you helped them qualify more leads for these 2 locations, you're talking about the third location, not only their location 1, location 2 revenue goals, but now revenue goals for location 3.
Right. Yeah. That's location 3 because they want to open it towards the end of the year. We agreed that uh let's get some of the information, uh zip codes and everything, because it was like, hey, let's open in this city or let's open this city. And I was like, and I would challenge him, right? Like, wait, Vic, tell me why. Well, that's because it sounds right. I don't know if that's your avatar. I don't think that's your avatar. Convince me that's your avatar. And he couldn't. What about over here? Convince me. No. So it was also a little coaching, right? But convince me, and no. So focus on the data. The data will tell you. And that's when, well, Raul, how do I get that? My database doesn't have that. Well, don't you have in your software and the recurring membership? You don't have that information? No. They didn't have that. So how does this work then? So they couldn't have, he didn't have it, and he realized, wow, this is pretty important. And then he did some cool promotion strategies to get his members to provide their zip code. And then now Vicky is generating the zip code. So he's
for all the new ones, and he collected as many as possible from his current ones. And then he could probably even see on the new ones which ones are actually sticking around, like not churning out of the gym, and like focus on those type of zip codes. Those are the type of demographic that's doing well at his gym. That's massive. Yeah. I mean, that one idea from you shapes his whole future.
Right. And then we also talk about churn. It's not on here. I didn't share this with you, Bryce, but his churn is so low. When we first started working, that was a big deal for him. It's like the churn is killing us, right? So I want to say that his churn is like down to like 20%, right? Like I think he was like 70%. So, he's pretty excited. His members are staying on, and his members are staying on, and then he's converting. I spoke to him about 2 weeks ago, and I got on him about, hey, wait, the meta dashboard is telling you you're not answering quick enough. Like, what's going on, right? He's like, I don't know. I'm not sure, but we're selling more than we have ever. No, there's no way. What's your ROI on your investment? So in February, he invested like $3,000 and he sold 25,000. I'm like, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Vicky is not, I don't see that with Vicky, right? So he's like, wait, let's figure this out. But it's a happy problem. We still haven't figured it out. But these are the things that, he's experiencing.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Amazing. Good job. How much are you typically able to charge for these types of services? And are you charging that to this business? Tell me the numbers.
Yeah. So I wasn't in the gym niche. I had never done anything with gym. It was always health and wellness. And what I mean by that is services like IVs, cryo, those type of services, those modalities, right? And so gym was new to me, although I knew the gym business a little. So initially, it was about a $5,000 setup, right? So to set everything up, $5,000. And then it was about $1,500 per location per business. So with him, though, I asked him, let's do this, be patient, and just refer me to your master class and to your other friend.
And how has that been? Have you gotten referrals?
He has, but I've denied them because I'm focused right now on this other project that I was mentioning. So I'm getting business that I'm denying, which is not good for business. But what I'm trying to do right now is the industrial pump world. And I know it's going to be so big that, in fact, I have a call with Ofer, right? Like today.
Oh, nice. Good.
Yeah. So that's the other thing, right? So now be in the community. I don't know how to do everything. I mean, I'm not an AI expert, even though I've spent about a year doing this. But there's other people like Ofer is a perfect example. I think it's Real Weight is his company.
Yeah.
He's we're going to go through this inventory on how to leverage CloseBot with different, 500 SKUs and everything. And because of the community we're in, because of the Facebook, the schools with Charles, I mean, everyone's helping each other.
Yeah.
I'm really going to disrupt with CloseBot that industry.
I love it. It's been so impactful for us to just focus on our one thing too.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, you doing that. And you know that if you've taken businesses up to 7 million in annual recurring revenue, you know how important it is to focus on one thing really well. And
yes.
if you're saying no to revenue today, saying no more today gives you more revenue tomorrow.
I think I heard someone say not too long ago, the business owner who can suffer the longest to fix it or find the problem is the one that will be most successful. And absolutely, right? 100% believe in that. So yes, what they call it, the critical few get laser focused, right? And I think we take on more than we should. Let's just do one thing and do it 100%. And that's what we did with this gym, right? Like, let's just get Vicky to get the 2 or 3. I think we started Bryce with Vicky, like 7 objectives, something crazy like that. And I saw in groups and videos, other people doing up to like 9, 12. And it didn't feel right. It just didn't feel right. So when I got it down to 2, right? It just changed everything. 2 or 3 objectives.
Yeah, people don't want to sit and see that long.
What's that?
And people don't want to sit and talk for that long.
No,
even if it's a human on the other end, they just don't want to go back and forth.
I want to say like 2 objectives is the key. If you figure out, that would be my suggestion to everybody. You can figure out.
Keep it simple.
2 objectives, right? You'll be more successful than 3, and you'll be more successful than 4. And people can't understand that, right? I've seen videos, no, you got to do this. It's like on text or on WhatsApp or on Messenger, you get tired. Just give me the information. Right?
Yeah, I completely agree. Keep it simple. Yeah. Yes. So the future for you is laid out. You're laser focused. You're helping this gym. You're saying no to other businesses similar to this niche. For this, typically, though, in the past, you would have charged about $5,000 setup and then $1,500 per location.
Right.
Smart to do it per location. That's extra work.
Right.
That all makes total sense. You have a history of bringing businesses from 0 to 7 million ARR. You are the perfect person to have on giving these numbers. This is so exciting.
Thanks. Yeah. I mean, the data will tell you everything. And if you don't have the data, I mean, I think I was mentioning this to you. I was in a group the other day, in your group, and a couple of months ago. And I was telling the group that I lived a moment with CloseBot, with the gym, where CloseBot was telling me all the things they were doing wrong. Okay. So it went all of a sudden from, lead conversion, lead generate, risk qualification. And then we went to this 2 months when they died their ads down, and we figured out they were doing a lot of things wrong. So then we picked it up, right? It's like, wait, what are you doing? So how are you, the churn, how do you do the churn, right? Like what are customers saying? Like, why are they leaving? Well, people felt that they weren't seeing the results, so it wasn't working. And I think every business owner goes to, if I don't see the results not working, you don't need to see the result, because that's at the end of the journey, right? The result. But can you feel the result? And can you quantify the result? So what this guy did is we looked at technology, that like a wearable band to tell, your heart rate. I don't know if you've ever been to Orange Theory, done any Orange Theory classes, but they believe they have this band that tells your heart rate, and they tell you, hey, go ahead and put it on. We're trying to get you to 130 beats, right? And he went out, bought it, implemented it, still working on it. This has been a couple of months now, but now his customers, his members can see exactly how many calories they're burning, and they're competing with everybody else in the gym. So it's motivating, right? But they're still kind of figuring out how to really scale this, but it's many problems to solve in any business.
And that's all business 101 that you've learned in your own businesses too. To motivate people, you need to have KPIs that you visit often, to keep them engaged, keep them excited, keep yourself excited, have KPIs for yourself. And so that makes sense. People in the gym, they'd want KPIs too. Otherwise, after months of doing the work and seeing no results, no results, they don't realize there are results. They're just not measuring them, and then they churn. Business 101 just apply to everything.
Right. Yeah. Abs are made in the kitchen. That's what they say.
That's right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for being a part of the CloseBot community. So happy to have Vicky on board. You're obviously doing huge things, so keep us updated in the group. And then maybe we'll do another one of these when you get this industrial job under wraps and working, and we can deep dive into how exactly you're doing that with a more complex system.
Bryce, is going to be so powerful because this industry is old school. Like, for example, people, the way they do prospecting is guy gets in the car, knocks on doors, right? And it's like, it works, obviously. But imagine when you put a little digital marketing, do a little bit of some offers, right? And then you leverage CloseBot. So it's big. It's a big project. And my goal is to get it from 0 to $10 million in 3 years. So CloseBot will be part of that.
Let's do it.
Yeah.